So welcome to TimePro Sprint Review Retro for Sprint 361. And for this sprint, oops, I should start with the beginning. This is a 2-week sprint, and we finished our 1 sprint goal for on billing. That means the happy path for on billing is finally working. I can quickly demo how it works. So say right now I have 2 tenants, Northwind AU and Northwind CN. I'm doing it in staging because it's just easier to set up. And then I have 1 project called, it's from the Rapid Transit. And you can see that under the on billing section, it says if you are working for this client, this project is actually going to find the target tenant, the SSW Hangzhou office, which is the Northwind CN tenant, and then create a timesheet with the same information for client Alfred, and the project will be implementation. So we could see it live. So for me, Sylvia, in both tenant, I don't have any timesheet here. And I'm going to do one in AU tenant. So pick the client that I just said, the Rapid Transit, the Cloud Transition Project. It could be any category, and I will put a note, say test on billing. Oops. And location will be at my company. Time ends at 6 o'clock at night. And I'm going to add this timesheet. So this timesheet is created, and this is going to send out a webhook request to our on billing service. Just let you know that we have a webhook here, send out to this on billing service, and that's going to handle the logic going to CRM, check for those on billing fields and figure out what tenant is going to post the timesheet to and what client and project it should be. So let's check if it has created the record. This is the on billing resource. So it has created a new record here.
Can you zoom that up a little?
Yeah. So you can see that there is a timesheet coming from the Northwind AU and it's trying to post to Northwind CN. So now if I refresh the page, in the Northwind CN, you will see a new timesheet automatically created with the configured client and the configured project. We could click in and see that it also carries the same information, including the time spent, the nodes, and the sell price. So with that, we have finished the happy path of the on billing functionality. We just need to clean up the rest of like some of the error handling, and also to make the user experience better. And we also need to set up the staging environment for the test because we were testing in prod to get the project started. So that's that. Good news.
Sorry. Why were you testing in prod?
Because we only get one set of resources set up at the beginning. But then we are pointing that prod resource to the staging for testing. So now we need to roll out to prod. We actually need to separate the two. We need a set of staging resources and a set of prod resources. So we have to do it formal. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah. So that's the sprint goal. And then for the capacity, we start with our estimate capacity of 39, but we actually lose most of the gym. He only worked half day through the past 2 weeks. And also we lose most of Jeffrey because he's on client as well as on admin stuff. So then our actual capacity goes down to 35 for 2 weeks. That's the timesheet data.
And why isn't Jim in this sprint review summary?
Because he's also with the client call, like he's on client today. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and he won't be with TimePro for the next few weeks either because he's fully booked. Yep. So going down to the sprint backlog part, the first one completed is our sprint goal, so a big yay. And then we did a backlog refinement to figure out what to do next for on billing, as well as clear out some of the outdated PBIs. Jeffrey has one other demo for the UI UX change for recurring invoice. Do you want to see that?
I would.
Okay.
All right. I'll just show you quickly what I've done. It's a quick one. I'm just going to take over screen share. And here we are. Oops. Wait, I'm just going to get rid of this. Here we go. Okay. Can you guys see? Oh, sorry, this one.
Yes.
Oh, no, I closed it. I use my Control W shortcut for Teams and it closed my actual tab. Where is my Contoso? Here it is. Okay. I'm going to work on my Contoso tenant just to make sure to prevent any damage in SSW tenant. So this is about the recurring invoice feature again. I've made a small change on the date picker. So I'm going to go into invoice, new recurring invoice template. And here, when you put all the information about the config, I'm just going to put this quickly in. And when you select the date now, if you click on the date picker, you have a new button at the bottom that's no end date. So if I click this one, the range is going to be from today to forever. So as you can see here, it starts today the 17th, and there is a no end date text. That means that this on billing goes on forever. You still can change it if you want to make it an actual range. So if I go from 1st to 31, this still works. But as soon as you click no end date, boom, it's forever. So this is I think this is something that you wanted, Adam. You happy with the way it's done with this button? And we can't hear you, Adam. You muted. I was just asking if you're happy with the way this was built.
Good. Yeah, I like
okay,
the no
awesome.
end date. That was good.
Awesome. Thank you. So Sylvia, you can take over the screen share.
Yep. Okay, I will reshare the screen. And that's the backlog part. Do you want us to get into any of the ones not done?
If there's any substantial work.
Yeah, so these two, they actually finished. They are just waiting for review. So one of the, also in our retro, we mentioned like one of the blocker is we are low on capacity, and also I'm lacking reviewers because I'm working alone. So these two should be reviewed and checked in like next sprint. But yeah, the majority of work is already done.
So you can't get reviews done by anyone on the team?
No, because Jim is on client and Jeffrey is also on leave and also on client and on the admin stuff, right? I think.
What about anybody else that has worked on TimePro in the past, such as Hugo or Ben Neo or or JK?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you
okay,
can't
next
find anyone, please contact me, and I will find someone.
Okay, will do. So going down to the suggested and automatic timesheet usage, Jeffrey has checked with 3 more people this sprint, asking why they didn't use it. So I could pull up the
Excel file open. Yeah, okay, right. So we have a PPI with an Excel file that is shared, and I'm updating it every week, so we can see the progress of it.
Are you learning a little bit more about why people aren't using it?
Yeah, I am. So last week it was mostly because they use AI tools to do it automatically, but this week it's people who actually work on multiple projects, and suggestions are usually wrong. So they prefer adding timesheets manually because it takes less time.
And have you looked at what they experience, or that you've just heard from what they experience?
I just heard from what they experience. I asked them.
You need to look. You need to say, call me when you do your timesheets, or can we do a timesheet now? And actually see it. Yeah, it's going to be different when you see it.
All right, I'll do this next time. But yeah, so in this Excel file, I'm putting in a yellow background the one from the current week. So you can see I asked Cookie, Ken, and Zeno, because they only used a 2, 4, and 4 timesheet during the last 30 days. Look, Cookie and Ken, as I said, is because they work on too many projects. But I will check with them and ask them to run me through it next time. And Zeno actually didn't really know about this feature, so he's going to start using it.
Right, and when he says he doesn't know about the feature, I would say let's open up and let's start doing a timesheet and see if anything should be discoverable. Something pops up, and as he starts entering something, it says, auto timesheet, like, and you go, there's a button there to click. Is that not obvious?
Yeah, I guess I could do this with him.
Yeah, you want to learn what they're looking at and how they're experiencing and why they don't know about the feature.
Okay, well, I thought the point of this was just to let them know that the feature exists and they should use it, but I didn't know how to teach them as well. So this is going to take more time, I guess, on this work.
Learn so that, it's not just about Zeno, it's about all future users that you're not going to manually call. And you also learn a little bit about how Zeno thinks. Now, Zeno is a user in China. They expect a slightly different user interface than what we do. So it's good for him to explain, I'm like a lot of Chinese interfaces, when a new feature is there, they have a red dot in settings and other places. So the red dot, he might say, look, I'm looking out for a red dot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, so you mean learn from them to improve the process?
Yeah, just what you want. You didn't know about this feature. Interesting. All right.
Okay.
Let's jump in and let's do a timesheet, and I'm just going to watch you just do what you normally do and just talk through it, and I'll see what you're doing. And then say, oh, all right. So that part you don't need to do manually. There is a way of doing it automatically. Can you find it?
Yeah, okay. I'll do that.
Okay.
Does it work?
All right.
What do you mean, does it work, Mike?
Well, you just use it in the real world and seeing if because people are options maximizers. If something makes it easier for them, they'll use it. And if it makes it more difficult, they won't use it. And understanding why Cookie didn't use it is worthwhile learning so that we can improve the feature.
Yep. Okay.
All right. We'll continue. So this is the sprint burn down chart, and for the same reason that the work couldn't really be reviewed, we have a kind of flat slope, but that should be improved next sprint if I'm blocked again. And then we have one successful deployment to production that's done by Jeffrey yesterday. And then going down to the code coverage part, these task coverage doesn't change much from last sprint. And also the pipeline health looks good, as well as the application health. So state of epics, we did a backlog refinement for cross-billing, on-billing epic this sprint. So that increases the number of PBIs to be done. That also lowered the progress bar, but those are some of the necessary bugs and cleanup work that I think we should do to get it production ready.
Can you zoom up a little?
Yes. Is it better?
Yep, thanks.
Okay. So yeah, we are still focusing on the cross-billing epic, and that's a bit left to do, including some of the work that we counted for ourselves, but those actually need help from the CRM team to fix the Power BI reports and stuff. Going down to the AI usage, I will hand over to Jeffrey.
Thank you. So AI usage, I'm still using Cursor, and I was limited to only Composer 2.5 because I reached the limit of my monthly credits. And Sylvia's still using Cloud Desktop with Fable 5 and Sonnet 4.7. Now moving on to the Cloud stats. So I'm going to share my screen.
So
yeah.
Can you how many PBIs do you ever have as a maximum, Jeffrey? Do you process one at a time only, or do you sometimes have two or three?
No, I go one at a time. I think the reason I reached the limit is because I was using Fable 5 and it was burning a lot of tokens.
Yeah, so no, I'm not talking about Fable 5. I'm just talking about in the past. What is the, do you sometimes have two processing at one time?
It happens, yes. Sometimes I do parallel, but most of the time it's one by one.
Right. And what about you, Sylvia?
For me, it's also one by one, unless they belong to a different project.
Right. Okay. In Sydney, I see really common for people to have 3 and 4 running at the same time. especially if there's, like you kick one off and now it's going, and so you go to the next one and kick that off. So I think there's a bit of a problem if you're going to be working one by one by one. Like that should be a goal of the next sprint, to at least try to be going 2 by 2.
Well, it depends what you're doing in the meantime, right? You can do other work, doing emails and stuff while it's running.
Of course, you can always come up with a reason, but you should be trying to have 2 at a time. Kick one off and kick a second one off. The second one might finish quicker than the first one.
Fable is a great architect, and you can ask it to run your CLI tools, and you can ask it to do 3 or 4, depending if the work doesn't crash into each other. You can actually ask it to run lanes, and it will run multiple lanes for you to build things all at the same time.
Yeah, but I definitely think you should just try to be comfortable running 2.
But this, I guess, means setting up GitHub work trees, right? Because you want to switch from one to another, and you don't want to be stashing and between each branch.
Hugo, do you have any experience doing this? Do you run one by one?
Mostly one by one too. I must admit, or sometimes 2 by 2, but it's rare.
Right. Okay. All right.
Depends on what I'm doing, really. So.
All right. Well, how about you, Jeffrey and Sylvie, just try and see how you go. But I think you'll be in better shape if you can manage that.
We can. I see the efficiency, Adam, behind this. I'm just worried about context switching as well, because if you have 3 or 4 things to think of in the same time, you might not be fully focused on what you're doing.
We're not talking 3 or 4. Let's just talk 2.
Oh, 1 or 2. Yeah, 1 or 2. Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Sorry, so back to the AI stuff. I'm going to share the Claude reports. I guess you guys can see it. Let me know if you can't. So the main overview, it went through the meeting summary and the key decisions. I reviewed them, and they're all accurate. It's most of the thing we talked about. I'm moving on to the timeline here. So this shows who spoke the most. It was Sylvia because she was leading the call, and then Mike and I were answering from time to time. People and roles next. So Sylvia and Mike were picked as the the presenter and the stakeholder, and I'm a dev at the bottom. They got an 8. I only got a 6. Mostly, I think, because I was venting about Cookie because he wasn't replying to me. It was obviously humor, but AI thinks I'm just being mean. Next one is insights. So we have 3 elephants in the room. The first one is about TimePro's priorities. Because we mentioned we have a low capacity now, but we still want to keep working on billing. So we should work on getting another dev maybe on board, or waiting for Sam to be back in 2 weeks. I'm not sure what we should do, but just be aware that the next 2 weeks might be low on capacity until we get Sam back. And the 2 other ones, the one is about the demo that Sylvia did in the first run. So because the way she explained billing was just backwards than the way we normally do it. I think she assumed Australian people working for China clients, but we normally do it the other way. It's China staff working for Australian clients. And the last one was Cookie ignoring my messages, but this is just a side, so not really important. And we have the trends. So this is comparing things over the last few sprints. I didn't really look up this tab because it usually doesn't tell me much.
I think this gets the stats wrong. Like we reduced capacity, but that doesn't go down to 8.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's about it for this Claude stats. So Sylvia, you can take over screen share back to the email, and I'll keep going through the AI stuff.
Yep.
So next one.
Actually, would you say that the Claude gets the overview right?
Yeah, I think it was right. There was just a few small things that, we can improve, I guess. But I guess it's hard for Claude to pick the humor, as you said, because it only has transcripts. So if it had the audio file, maybe it could pick up the humor and wouldn't take it as seriously. But yeah, that's just a small thing. All right, Copilot now. So speaking time.
Maybe you should like when you send text messages, you put an emoji there, Maybe you should say your emojis, like, you know, that's a joke, or ha.
Oh yeah,
or
we could say.
Ha.
Yeah, correct.
So be conscious that you want it to interpret correctly.
Yeah, maybe we can add this up when we speak. Yeah, correct. Awesome.
Or sarcasm.
Yeah. I will be sarcastic in the next 30 seconds. I don't know.
All right.
Just tell AI. Yeah, okay. All right. So next one is Copilot stats. So yeah, speaking time were picked up similarly. So Sylvia is the main speaker. And we then asked Copilot the question, what was the main issue completed? Be brief. And the answer from Copilot was the on-billing. So yeah, on-billing, sorry. Duplicate on-billing timesheets to target tenant was completed and demoed. And the team showed that a timesheet created in one TimePro tenant can now be automatically duplicated into another tenant for cross-billing purposes. So that's a big win because we finally have a happy path working for on-billing. So yeah, green tick, because this is correct. And it was the main thing we talked about. Awesome. Next one is our Yakshare use. We had 18 new PBIs and 7 were Yakshared. So this brings the ratio down a bit to 39%. This is, I think, because sometimes we duplicate PBIs like the suggested timesheet one. We just duplicate it manually. So yeah, obviously we don't use Yakshare for that. But yeah, anyway. Moving on to the retro. So it's a very short one. For the when well, we mentioned that the sprint goal was finished and that the on-billing happy path is working fully in staging and almost in prod. We're just missing credentials. And what didn't go well? Well, the lowest capacity, because Jim had his client work and I also have client work now, plus admin stuff in France. So Sylvia was mostly alone during the sprints. And the improvement that I proposed is to get a new dev on TimePro maybe, or to wait for Sam to be back in 2 weeks. So I guess it's fine to wait for Sam to be back because I still have capacity next sprint to work with Sylvia. So we can work it out, I guess. Awesome. Any question, anything to add for the retro guys? Adam, mostly?
No, all good.
Awesome.
All right.
And the forecast, do you want to do it, Sylvia?
Yeah, I can do the forecast. So for next sprint, it will be a 1 week sprint, and our sprint goal is to notify user when the on-billing timesheet duplication fails. So this is to handle the unhappy path. If I create a timesheet in the source tenant and then something happened, it doesn't create the timesheet in the target tenant, the user should know that something happened. Like they should be notified either through like emails or some sort, like we will investigate that. And then this is our planned PBIs to finish.
So Sylvia, how close are we at having the on-billing feature deployed so people can start using it?
There's like a few, probably 3 or 4 cleanup PBIs. Those are small, like for the happy path to work. But like if you want the error handling, like what I said, like something happened, you think that you already create a duplication timesheet, but that doesn't occur. That's the unhappy path that we need to handle so that when this occurs, people can retry or somehow fix it manually. But if you only consider the happy path is already working, we just need to clean up some of the credential issues to use it in prod.
So Sylvia, you're saying 1 sprint for the happy path, and how many sprints for the unhappy path?
Yes.
How many, sorry, for the unhappy?
For the unhappy is this is an 8 effort PBI to finish, and then there's like more, we have cleanup work that we need to do, including adding like a staging environment, and there's one more to get the credentials for prod.
So it does feel
2 weeks.
It does feel like people that aren't going to make mistakes could start using it.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, but after we get the resources separated, so we are not both using it for testing and for prod.
Sure.
That would be dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you asked anyone to test it yet, or you're just doing team testing at the moment?
Just team testing at the moment.
Okay. All right. And when do you think you'll record your first done video?
I would consider this one to clean up for this sprint. Next sprint, probably 3 weeks later.
3 weeks away. Okay.
Mhm.
Wow. All right. More than I thought. That's all right.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Good.
Do you have any question with the planned work for next sprint?
No, it looks good.
Okay. And then there is a main action point to work on next from Copilot summary. So we asked what's the main item to do next, to be brief. Copilot says set up a proper staging environment for the on-billing Azure resources so team can fully test and harden the on-billing feature end-to-end before production rollout. And I think that's quite accurate. So put a green tick. Yep. So that's it for the retro and planning. Any question?
So just a comment here, Sylvia. So
Yep.
Copilot said that this staging environment was the highest priority step, but we chose another one, which we put the goal
true.
as.
Yeah.
So it's actually not accurate. Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
You
So
get it right.
do we change our goal or do we?
Well,
What
if
do we
that's
do?
what you said in the meeting, if you changed it after the meeting,
Yeah. So it's wrong. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
This should be a
it's
red
wrong.
cross. But now
Sorry.
the question is, should we change our goal now based on this feedback? Do you think we should actually put the other one as a goal?
Put this
What's
one
the most
on the top.
important? Because you said
Actually, I think
yeah.
this one is more doable because it's actually 2 effort point to get the environment set up.
it's
And
not
then-
about what's doable. It's what's the
Yeah.
most important
What's
thing.
important? Yeah.
Mhm.
What's blocking us from getting this
actually
tested in
4.
prod now? Which PBI
What-
is blocking us the most to test
The second
on bidding
one,
in
this
prod?
one.
Yeah, so
This
this should be
one.
the goal, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, let's change it. I will.
But that means that during the recording, you were talking about that one, and
Mhm.
it was the most important one you were talking about.
I think so, yeah. It picked up it was the most important one, but we decided to put another goal. I'm not sure why,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Right.
So it was correct.
Yeah. Look,
I think it's-
like if it's pretty line ball and it picks one and you kind of
Oops.
arbitrarily think it's the other one, you'd still give AI a green tick because it's
Yeah,
being
correct.
accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. So it should be a green actually.
Yeah, the green and red tick, the green and red cross. It's about can we trust AI? And if it's giving you a pretty good one and you couldn't even be sure which one is the most important one, but it's right up there, then you give it a tick. It's pretty good.
Mhm. So I will change this. This part I would
Yeah, I
just
guess
manually.
you can do it after the code, I guess, or
Yeah.
up to you if you want to do it now.
Yep. It should be quick.
Okay.
Yep.
Wait, any other question, guys, before we kick off?
No, all good.
All
Okay.
good.
Awesome. I just watched Sylvia playing around with
Yeah.
the table.
Struggle with the table. Okay,
It's
I'm
okay,
done
it's okay.
now. All good. Okay, if
I just
no one
put it
has
in
any
bold, sorry,
questions?
Sylvia.
Yeah.
The first one in, whatever. You can do it later.
Oh, we want to bold this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good,
Thank
good
you.
catch. Yeah. And in case anyone wants to check this meeting again, you can always find us on SSW TimePro channel. And thanks everyone for joining. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Sylvia.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sylvia.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.